Hey guys, it's Jalecia. How are you? Oh, let me get my glasses real quick because I need them to be able to see. Can you guys hear me pretty well? I don't know who's on right now. Oh, wait, I'm getting tangled. Can you hear me? If you can you heart up? I don't know who's on. Who is the viewer right now? Who is that? Oh, no, that's not it. Oh, that's how you can flip quickly. That's cool. Um, so I am live right now and I'm waiting on somebody to get on so that I can be able to make sure that you guys can hear me. Um, I didn't really post about this a lot. I actually wasn't planning on getting on. Oh, Ciante, you're on. Can you hear me by any chance? You can? Is that your hearts? Just let me know if you can hear me. I have my, okay, cool. Because I have my headphones because I'm in a interview room at my job right now and it's cold and wet outside and I did not wear the right kind of shoes, so I wasn't trying to go outside in my car. Um, but yeah, we are live at lunch right now. Hey, Trina, right? The soul speaker. What's your name? Tony. Why did I say Trina? Where did that come from? Hey, Tony. How are you? Um, okay, so I'm just going to get started with this because my lunch is like almost over. But I was saying earlier that I didn't really post about this on Facebook because I really didn't want to do this today. And because I've just kind of just been dealing with some things and I I'm pushing through, and I really wanted to make this live at lunch about that, about pressing through and really just putting aside your feelings and how you feel, for purpose. Purpose is so much more important, and it has to come to a point when you grow. Spiritually where you're not listening to yourself or listening to your flesh and you start worrying about other people and this isn't for me, it's for others. I am going to be speaking on that, on pressing. Yes. So I have been really overwhelmed the past couple days. I've been dealing with kind of a lot of, anxiety, a little bit of anxiousness and stuff like that. I just have a lot going on. I am doing I have my business that I do. I'm a photographer. I'm a single mother. I have a full-time job. And now, we are starting this ministry with Fierce, Faithful, Fabulous. And so life, let me tell you, it's a lot going on. And yesterday was a really, really crazy day. And I was just kind of really frustrated at work and I was really pressing through because I was not going to let the enemy have my mind on this one. So, I was really trying my best to push through. But it was hard. It was tough. Anxiety is a devil. Like it will really get you. And, it'll produce a whole bunch of other emotions that, just kind of lashing out, I'll get onto my son, when he didn't deserve it, or, people that I work with. Anxiety, it's not fun. And, it's something that, God is really working on me with. So I'm going to talk about just a couple things that, I do or that I've been thinking on that God's been dealing with me with as far as it comes to anxiety and being overwhelmed. I know, being a single mom, that's a major, major topic when you are for real single mom, like for real, for real. Not like, you and your boyfriend together, like nobody, it's you. So I know overwhelmment is a major topic with us. So I'm going to kind of talk about that a little bit. So my first point on anxiousness and being overwhelmed is really something has got to give. You are one person. You can't do it all. It's not possible. God didn't create you to do all these jobs at once. He didn't create you to do all this stuff. You have to always remember that you are one person, and something you have to really figure out and really tell yourself, kind of evaluate, what's important right now. What is important? I know yesterday I had like 1,000 things on my to-do list, and a lot of it was some cleaning stuff, some was for ministry stuff, some was for photography stuff, and I had to tell myself, Jaleesa, you can't do all of this today. Like, you have to pick what's really important, what is dire, what is going that needs to be done today, and get that done, and everything else will have to fall by the wayside. You have to pick that up, and I have a hard time doing that, because I don't really like my house looking a hot mess, but my poor kitchen sink right now, Lord Jesus, it's crazy right now. But I had to be okay with the fact that, I'm gonna have to let this go today and pick this up tomorrow. And it's just something that's gonna have to happen. Like, it's not gonna hurt anybody. It's not going to, affect anyone, but there are things that, affect other people. And there are things that, you need. The anchor. Hey girl. Hey Helen. There are things that need to be done, and you just have to really prioritize that. So I really like that you said that, Cianta. You have to prioritize what's important and what's not so important. And really, I have a master to-do list. So I have a whole bunch of things on there that need to be done in life, and I go to that to-do list, and I pick out a couple things that are dire for today. And I focus on those things, and I get those done, and I let those other things fill in, the rest of my days as I go. So another thing is, for my second one, overwhelming can come from focusing your thoughts on things that you lack. Whether it is like, oh, I don't have enough time for this, or I don't have enough money for this, or, different stuff like that. And all this stuff is just kind of like, pressing on you. That's what being overwhelmed is like you're kind of burdened by huge, massive things. And so you're focusing on like what you don't have. And all of a sudden, like, it's starting to really like pile on, like, oh my God, I don't have enough money, and I got this bill, and you're counting this stuff, and now these anxious thoughts are starting to build up. That is what we have to worry on, not doing. There's a story in the Bible about it's the widow and the oil. The widow, her husband had died, and she was really like, she was very overwhelmed because, they didn't have enough money to be able to pay off their debt. And she was going to have to sell, like, her sons. They were about to take her sons away to be slaves because she couldn't pay off the debt because her husband had died. And so they didn't have the money for it. And so she went to Elisha and the prophet of that time. And she was telling him, my husband was a servant of you, and this is what we're dealing with. And I'm about to have to give my sons away to be slaves. What am I supposed to do? Like, I don't have anything. I don't have any money. I don't know what I'm going to give them. And he asked her, what do you have in your home? And she's like, all I got is some oil. Like, that's all I have. And he was like, well, go home, borrow as many vessels or instruments that you can, like vases and stuff like that. And I want you to borrow all this stuff as much as you can, and I want you to fill them up with the oil. Now, this is kind of weird. She had a flask. I don't think a flask is really that big. So, she had to have thought, like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's not going to fill up all this stuff. But she did it anyways, out of faith. And she put aside, all those overwhelming feelings and different stuff like that. She trusted, okay, this is going to help me get out of this situation. And she didn't focus on what she was lacking. She started focusing on what she had in front of her. And what was amazing was that God was able to multiply that oil and fill up all those things. And she was able to pay herself out of debt and have extra to live on. So really, like, when you change your focus and you change, like, start thinking about what do you have? What do you have right now that's going to help you in the situation that you're in? Like, I know for me, like, I'm pretty good at budgeting and different stuff like that. I'm pretty good. I have a pretty good mind when it comes to, money and stuff like that. And so I'm able to budget. I'm able to, do stuff like that. I also have, my photography business. I have different stuff where I can be able to fund myself. I need to be creative. And I know Pastor Dan was saying, something yesterday about this, about things, how we are just like God. Sorry, someone was calling me. People always call me at the most random times. I don't know you. Anyways, but people, I forgot, I lost my train of thought. Dang, who was that? We're going to keep it moving. Dang it, I'm sorry. That was Pastor Dan. Pastor Dan was talking about being just like God, and God is a creator. He's so creative. He's full of creativity, and we are just like God. We are made in His image. So you are creative too. He has placed that in you to be creative, to look at what you have in front of you and be creative with it, and creative in your situations. If you stop focusing on what you don't have and you start focusing on what you do have, like, you'll be able to get yourself out of situations, because God has already given us what we need in life, and for a moment by moment basis, not for something like you need for tomorrow or for yesterday. Like, He has something for you to get out of this situation right now, because He is always supplying our needs, and His grace is sufficient. So you have to focus on these things. And one of the scriptures that I thought for that was Philippians 4:8, talking about fixing your thoughts. And it says, "Now, dear brothers and sisters, our final thing, fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise." Think on these things. Think on these things. And I'm telling you, like, yesterday when I was really, really overwhelmed, I was super anxious, I just kind of stopped for a second, and I was just like, God, I love you. I love you. And I think you're amazing. I think that it is so amazing how you made me so unique. And I just started thinking about all these things about how good God was, and and I was feeling peaceful. The anxious thoughts were, yes, worshiping. The anxious thoughts were going away. Like, when you think on things that you have, and you always have God. You always have the creator of the universe right at your right hand waiting for you. Yes, exactly. What we think on, we worship. That is so true. That is so true. And you have to really evaluate, like, what are you worshiping? What are you making an idol? What are you making your God? That is so good. So my next point, and probably my last one, is pausing. And yes, we should monitor our thoughts. Always think, you need to watch what you're doing, watch what you're thinking. That's so good. Thanks, Tony. My last thing was pause and evaluate what's going on. Really be present in the moment, and think about what caused this situation that you're in. Like, what are you so overwhelmed about? And how did it become so chaotic and become such a burden? Was it something that I can control, or was it something that was out of my control? If it was something that I can control, like, here's an example. If my rent is due this weekend, and last weekend I was doing all kinds of stuff knowing good and well that wasn't in my budget, and then now it's coming to this weekend and I'm super overwhelmed because I can't pay my rent. I mean, why are you overwhelmed? Because you clearly did that the last weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was something that was in your control. That was something that you could have been a good steward over, and you could have watched, and you could have budgeted. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was something that was in your control. So if it was something that was in your control, then that is something that you need to evaluate, and maybe it's something that you need to fix, something that you need to work on, something that you need to start. Okay, I'm going to start practicing. I'm going to get a budget down, and I'm going to start practicing budgeting my money. I'm going to start practicing, doing, I mean, there's a whole bunch of systems out there that, help you, take care of your money and be a good steward over it. I'm going to look into these things, and I'm going to make this, I'm going to make a habit of being better about my money, because that's something that I can control. And that's something that I can be able to not be so overwhelmed about, because my money is better, because I'm taking care of my money. Then there's things that are out of our control, like, I don't know, like you're overwhelmed about, I mean, you kind of use money as the same situation. So like if you do have like a lot of bills, but you only get paid, well, I guess that's kind of something that's in your control. I guess I should have thought of a really good example for this. But if it's something that is out of your control, oh, okay, let's say you're overwhelmed because like my son, I still, we kind of deal with, the pain in the bed and just different stuff like that. And he kind of, he still kind of, acts out a little bit at school. Not like he's a bad kid, but he's just really like, really hyper. And he just has an issue with staying still sometimes. That's something that's kind of out of my control. I mean, I do what I can as far as, the discipline area, and different stuff. But sometimes there are some things that we just have to put in God's hands. My baby's a good kid. Hush. Sometimes there are some things that we have to put into God's hands, and that, there's nothing that you can do about it. And you have to, pray about it and talk to God about it and let God handle it. I mean, God has already worked it out. It's just something that you're just going to have to walk through, and you have to really stand on his peace, that peace that surpasses all understanding, and really just rely on that, really push through that. Today, I am pushing through this, and today I am, filling myself up with the word, and I am, pushing, and I did this Periscope, when I really wasn't feeling it. I really wasn't, wanting to do it, but I feel so much better. And I truly believe that when you're choosing God over your feelings, over your situations, and you're making, your situations you're making God bigger than your situations, the peace comes. It feels uncomfortable at first, and the feelings suck. They do. It's being overwhelmed and being anxious. I don't like it. I hate it. It's awful. It's not a good feeling. But I chose God, and I chose to do what he's called me to do, and I'm trusting it. And I feel like this is a sign, like, God, I'm trusting that you're already working in my situation right now. So I'm not even going to really worry about, how I'm feeling and stuff like that, because you've already worked it out. So I'm just going to keep walking. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep doing what you asked me to do. I'm going to keep doing what I know to do. And I know and I trust that you have already handled everything else. So this is my live at lunch today. I'm probably late going back because I'm supposed to be back at 12:30. And I don't know what time it is. But I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys, coming on to our live at lunches and just really being interactive with us. We love you so much. It's 12:30. Yeah, I'm about to be late. She loves me. She'll be all right. But yeah, so we appreciate you guys so much, and we are so thankful for your support in this ministry and this thing that God has put on our hearts to go forth in. So we love you. We will see you later. Talk to you later. We will see you actually on Thursday, live at lunch. I'm not sure on the time yet, so I won't say it, but we will see you Thursday with Ciante on live at lunch. Talk to you guys later. Bye. This happens to me all the time. I have no idea how to stop this broadcast.